Competitive diving is one of the most thrilling sports of all time. Imagine leaping into water from a height of up to 10 meters while retaining a series of perfect body positions. Sounds difficult? Not for Ukrainian diving champion Yuliya Prokopchuk. She overcame her fear of heights and went on to represent Ukraine at the Olympics. Last year, the 30-year-old won 2 gold medals at the European Aquatics Championships. This is her story. Some people are afraid of water, while others may not be. Personally, I'm not afraid. Water is definitely my element, and I love diving. Ever since I was a little girl, my parents called me their little dolphin. Now my husband calls me his little star. In her childhood, she was a very sporty little girl. Once I came to pick her up from kindergarten, and there was a note waiting for me. It said to go to the Central Sports Complex. So the next day, we headed to the center, and she was invited to join a gymnastics group. My dad always wanted for me to be involved in sports and be fit and healthy. I did gymnastics from the age of 4 until I turned 8. She would start crying when she didn't manage to do one of the gymnastics moves. She also cried when she couldn't do the splits. I would tell her, let's go home, but she wouldn't give up and continue her training. She would cry for a bit and then run back to her training routine. Later, I transferred to a diving group because my parents didn't have time to take me to my gymnastics lessons. The first coach was Grigory Ivanovich. He was a great coach. He didn't let Yuliya catch a break. He taught me discipline, which is very important. Sometimes he would even shout at me a bit. In my childhood, I performed some of the easier elements. We worked together for 6 years. Then he passed away. Later, I transferred to another coach. His name is ANDRIY RUDENKO. Now we're working together. He's like a second father to me. In order to achieve good results, an athlete must be hardworking and determined. These are all of Yuliya's character traits. If she didn't have these traits, she wouldn't have won a gold medal at the European Championships. She wouldn't be Yuliya Prokopchuk. The first medal I won was very symbolic. It was at the 2006 European Championship. I remember the first day of diving. It started raining right before the finals. The pool was an outdoor one, so we had to wait until it stopped raining. The judges said if the rain didn't stop in the next 15 minutes, the competition would be rescheduled for another day. At the time, I thought that I wanted to compete that day, and I was ready to dive that day. And perhaps that feeling was not just a coincidence, because I won that day. When you achieve something and you see your results, you want to continue working, you want to continue winning, and not only at the European Championships, but also at the World Championships, and then at the Olympic Games. You suddenly realize what it's like to be the best of the best. You want to continue working and achieve even greater results. I wake up at 8 a.m., eat breakfast, and then go to train. It takes me about 10 minutes to go to the pool, and then my training begins at 10 a.m.
Привет, готова? Давай, разминайся тогда.
Сначала мы идем в зал.
First, we go to the gym for a general workout. We do stretching exercises, jog, and do a warm-up routine. This is really important because you can get an injury if you don't warm up your muscles properly. I do workouts with my legs, abs, back, and hands, so they're always in good shape.
Получить травму, если не разогреться.
Подними подбородок. Во, хорошо. Все, хорошо. Ну все, пошли на акробатическую дорожку.
When we finish our general training, we move on to a special routine. I begin working on my somersaults on the trampoline. Usually my coach takes a look at my training routine and then gives me advice on what I can improve. He also corrects my mistakes. Each coach usually writes an individual training plan for the year. This is where he writes in which competitions I will take part in and what we plan to achieve in the coming year. After the gym, we head to the pool and we start diving. We work on the quality of the dives and the stability of each maneuver. We start with the smallest height and with the easiest elements and slowly work our way up. My program consists of 5 different types of elements. I complete my dives from the 10-meter platform.
А зачем ты поднимаешь голову? Вот закрыто и потом только вход. Еще раз и хватит.
Currently, Yuliya's program is one of the most difficult ones in the world. It's very difficult to dive from a 10 meters height every single day, so we try to change it up each day. One day, I do my routine from the 5-meter heights, and maybe the next day I dive from the 10 meters one.
Приходится иногда работать. В любое время.
Sometimes we have to work at irregular hours because it needs to be done. And when an athlete is really tired, they can sometimes lose their desire to practice and they forget why they're doing this in the first place. This is where I need to push her and remind her why she's doing this. I tell her, you must train.
Должна быть. Все. Были разные периоды в подготовке, потому что
There have been ups and downs in training. Her main element is the fact that she jumps from a very high platform. It's very important for an athlete to be psychologically strong. For athletes, everything depends on our psychological state. Physically, we're all ready for competition, but it's the psychological aspect which is very important. The people who are always rooting for me are my team, my family, and friends. I know they genuinely support me. When you go to competitions, you always feel your team's support. They watch your performance and root for you, and this motivates you. Yuliya and I competed as a synchronized diving duo in London. She's a very responsible individual. We perform in the same competitions but in different programs, and she's always afraid of letting the team down. My husband is one of my biggest supporters. He knows everything about diving. Sometimes I wonder whether he knows more about the sport than I do. He watched every single one of my competitions, even if it's in a different country and very late at night. He wakes up and stays up watching it.
Даже если какие-то соревнования там, в другой стране не поздно, там ночью, он все равно их там ночью проснется и будет смотреть.
There are times when she's competing and I feel as if I'm there on the diving board with her. I always worry about her, maybe even more than she worries about herself. But most of all, I'm very proud of her. I'm very happy for her. She has devoted her whole life to sport, and this is very important for her. I want my very own little family. I would like to have children someday, but I suppose we shall see what the future holds.